Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. Man, oh man. This is going to be an interesting video, man. This is going to be a one where, you know, I put this in my Scorpio effect, you know, back before we even knew it was going to be called the X. This back when it was a Scorpio. This has been something I knew was going to come to fruition because it's kind of, if you put two and two together, it's kind of one of those things that's kind of obvious, that this is how the X was built. It was built in a way that was going to be just this turnkey, press a button for developers to be able to develop for and be able to port their games for. So I knew this was going to be a thing. And that basically is the question, is the Xbox X already dominating and it hasn't even released yet? So let me go ahead and dig into that, man, to find out what the hell am I talking about, what I mean by this. So let's put it into perspective. So we've already been seeing developer after developer come out and just straight up say, man, this thing is incredible. I mean, we basically put our game up in one day. Some of us are saying 1 day, 2 day. We already got it running up to native 4K. You're hearing stuff like from Respawn talking about 6K. You know, this, all the talks is how we have a credible amount of power, but the thing is how incredibly easy it is to just port a game over or to develop for. It's just we just get it done just like that. It's not like there's a whole lot of work being involved getting it up and running. And that's just what developer after developer has been saying. And now we're starting to see how that is going to start to affect the gaming industry as a whole, because now if you check out my video, the two games that has been announced to have Xbox X enhancements, you check out those two games, which is Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Now these games are huge AAA title games, and more AAA title games keep being announced for Xbox X enhancements. But the thing of that is you're not seeing the same thing happen on the PS4 Pro side. There doesn't seem to be any real enthusiasm in regards to developers when it comes to the PS4 Pro and any AAA titles. And the thing is that already an indication of the dominance of the X already? It hasn't even released yet. And mind you, let's keep this in mind. Right now, when it comes to developers, what they have at their disposal is not even the full developing kit, potential power of what the X can do. That 1 gigabyte is not even released yet to developers. Now you think by the time, we got to remember, we got about what, 3 months and some change before the X even releases. By the time the X releases, that'll be closer to next year. Now what do we got coming out next year? You think about that. The games that are going to be developed for next year, those games will be able to take full advantage of that extra 1 gigabyte of RAM. So games like Anthem, games like Metro, those games will be able to take full advantage of that. You think about how much of a stark difference you're going to see in games like that are going to now be able to take full advantage of what the X can do, especially considering that 1 extra gigabyte of RAM. That's a huge thing. Like, I don't know if other people understand just how much 1 extra gigabyte of RAM is This is the reason, like, newer games that are coming out, they're talking about the extra things that they can do, like add more enemies on screen and maybe add a bigger player count on multiplayer. All of these things are possible with that extra gigabyte of RAM, allowing for a whole expansion to the game that you normally wouldn't be able to do because you simply just don't have enough memory. This also adds for more particle effects, more shadows, and add of more realistic immersion into the game. All these different things, that anti-aliases, draw distances, upping the settings, all these things allow it to basically perform at PC quality. Now think about this, PC quality, but is developed for in just days when it comes to porting a game, or when it comes to just developing for the platform itself. Literally, when it comes to their game, you got to understand, they're really porting over and then using the power of the platform to be able to add additional content to that game. Now, when the game is so easily to be and so efficiently to be up and running so quickly, that gives them plenty of time to be able to do the things like add more features or add more effects. And that's the beauty behind it. And I'm asking, are we already seeing that already take hold? And the console's not even out yet. As you can see, day after day, week after week, there keeps just coming out more information about how incredible the X is, what it's capable of doing. We're starting to see changes already in the media, becoming a little bit more neutral, and a little less biased. And I'm just calling it as it is. Are we already seeing the dominance of the X? Because it's pretty inevitable at this point. You can't have the combination of all the power as well as all the efficiency, and then sit there and think that that's just not going to be a dominating and crushing force. Oh, of course it is, because you have everything of what you need in regards to power, and then you have the efficiency of a push button application. I mean, basically developers push a button and boom, there it is. I mean, now of course, that's something that has never been done before. And I think developers are already seeing, and they're already letting know that, hey man, this is going to change things big time. So I think it's really exciting time, gamer in general, to let you guys know, man, this is not about, it's about Xbox and bashes every other console or every other gamer. No, this is a great thing for gamers, because I think things like this are one of the things that shows us innovation on a level that is going to inspire all other companies, all other gamers to push and strive for more. And that's going to push developers. It's going to push hardware creators and manufacturers across the board to innovate and push themselves to the highest degree that they can possibly do. And that's what's the great thing about this. Because I think what could be learned is, why isn't the PS4 being able to take advantage of these games and have them in 4K like the X? And I think it comes back to what I've said 1,000,001 times. The Pro was never designed to be a 4K machine in the first place. Just because it's capable on smaller games to be able to do a level of 4K doesn't mean it was actually designed to be a 4K machine. It just wasn't. And I really think it's not fair to really compare the Pro to the X in that way, as if they're equal comparison, because they're not. They're two consoles that were designed for two different things. The X was actually designed for 4K gaming. The Pro wasn't. And I think it's unfair to the Pro to kind of put it in that category. Now, of course, it's being put in that category by Sony fanboys, and that's fine. They want to do that, but that's fine. But when have they ever been logical or reasonable or full of facts? You know, for them, it's just all about ego and, you know, sticking their chests out, you know, and none of that is, all that's is BS. I mean, if you really dig into the facts, it's just simply not a 4K machine. Simple as that. And it really wasn't ever really designed for that. So you know, this is not about that. What this is about is that obviously, you know, the Pro is not able to take advantage just because number one, it's not really designed to be a 4K machine. Number two, it's just not as easy to develop for. It's as simple as that. It just, even to get it to what it can do when it comes to what it can do, well, that's even a lot harder to design for. So developers are just thinking that, well, even if we do these enhancements, number one, they're not really all that much of a big jump between the base PS4 and the Pro. And number two, we have to go through a lot more work to do it. So why do that? You know, and that's what it comes down to. This is the reason why the Pro is not getting that type of support, and why the X at this point is shaping up to be the dominant force in regards to 4K and gaming, or just a superior gaming experience, period, across the board. So for me, man, yeah, I just wanted to do a video on this, man, and then share these thoughts about this. I would like to see what you guys think. For me, man, I think this is a pretty telling thing about the X, especially since this is months prior to it even releasing. So you can just imagine once it hits the store shelves and people start seeing these games they start playing them themselves at Walmart or at GameStop or at Best Buy, and you know, that starts to take hold. It's gonna be ridiculous. And I think a lot of the things that I've been saying and a lot of other people have been saying is gonna just come to tuition, man, where it becomes pretty obvious that, hey, this is where it's at. And you got to understand, you got to remember, for PlayStation, you know, for people who doubted my video on Xbox actually catching up in this next half of this generation, what they're not thinking about is that the thing about this whole thing is that PlayStation won't have an answer to the X until probably at least 3 years before they can even have an answer with a PlayStation 5. By that time, the X would have done considerable damage when it comes to it, because by that time it would just be the norm that, well, you know, everything is better on the X. And if you think people are going to shy away from it just because it's $500, you're fooling yourself. That's just not the case. People are going to always go for what's valuable. That's just as simple as that. If people see the value in it and Microsoft market it correctly, all they have to do is see the games and play the games. That's it, man. And people like me is going to be having it and putting it on YouTube. All other YouTubers are going to be streaming it. Even the gaming media is going to be on it. Digital Foundry is going to own it. So it's not like it's going to not be a secret that these games are better performing and better looking on the X, and they're amazing. That's not gonna, like, it's gonna be a secret. So you can't think that people are gonna look at it and say, oh, it's $500. Oh, no, but I'll buy a $400 Pro though. It's just not gonna happen like that. Let's just keep it real. And if you're thinking that some exclusives that are coming out for the PS4 is gonna stop people from getting the X, you're fooling yourself again. Or that's even gonna slow the sales of the X down. You're fooling yourself. It's not gonna happen that way. It's just not, because that's not really what's driving the market. What's driving the market is multiplats. Yes, obviously we know exclusives help attract people to a console, but at this point, you know, you're not going to get people just saying, well, I'll rather buy a PS4 over a X. I just don't see that happening. Especially with all of the new services that Xbox is providing and all of their new updates that they're doing. You got to remember, at this point, it's not video games is number one, always will be. However, you need to have a platform to sit your video games on. And if you think about Xbox, they have the best, most reliable, and fastest network to sit all of their games on. Think about all the multiplayer that's done. That's the best on the X because it has the most fastest and best reliable network. It also has a network that continues to be updated. The interfaces continue to be updated. The features on the Xboxes continue to be updated month after month. They continue to keep putting out updates, making it better. They continue to keep listening to the feedback of the gamers and actually respond to that feedback. That's something that's not happening on the other platforms. And you got to understand, that's something that at the time of next year, that's going to be in full effect. You can't think something as powerful as that is just gonna, it's not gonna really have any traction in regards to its sales numbers, or in regards to it eating away of the lead of Sony sales numbers. Like, you're fooling yourself if you're thinking that. You're in La La Land. That's just, and you can't also think that that's not also gonna slow down the sales of the PS4. Of course it is. Of course it's gonna slow the sales down. So the fact is, I'm not saying this to say, to bash on PlayStation. I'm just saying this to say that I think it's pretty obvious that Sony this generation has become very arrogant and very just anti-consumer, and very just, we're not going to listen to what the gamers want. You want backwards compatibility? No, we're not going to do it. Crossplay, it's only going to be when it advantages us, not when it advantages you. No, thank you. It's things like this that I think Sony as a company really needs to atone to, and they really need to make sure they provide their gamers, including me, because I game on the PlayStation, with the quality service, like updating their network, making sure that we're paying $60 for it. It's actually fast and reliable, and it doesn't have scheduled maintenance, and we're not being hacked. Make sure that you're providing updates. You're actually doing things to provide a better service for us as people who are playing on their PlayStation. So that's what I would want to see. I would want to see these things make PlayStation a better platform, and just in general overall for everything. And I would want to see Sony listen to their gamers and actually provide them with the things just like all other platforms are doing. So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I also game on PlayStation. I want to see that. I want to see the platform for PlayStation better. I want to see Sony gets better in listening to gamers. And that's what I see. This is a big thing as well, because, the tide, when it rises, it lifts all boats. This is not about just one. This is not about Xbox. This is about the gaming industry as a whole. And I think that's the thing that all gamers should be focusing on and should be caring about. So yeah, man, that's going to be my video for today. Man, hit me in the comment box. You guys tell me what you think. Until next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.